Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
Grab your 6-shooter setup and get ready to ride as we head west in the remake of The Magnificent Seven.
Took a job looking for some men to join me.
Is it difficult?
Impossible.
Now, right off the bat, I'll say I am a big fan of westerns, all the tropes, everything that goes along with it, and that's one of the main reasons I really liked this new Magnificent Seven. I've seen the original once, it's been a while, so I don't remember a ton of it, so going simply off of what Antoine Fuqua did in this one, and I have to say, it's just a lot of fun. You know, I think the great thing that Antoine Fuqua did with this movie is he paid tribute to a lot of all the western kind of, the tropes and cliches with the duels, these kind of the standoffs, all the gun tricks, all the riding or horse battle sort of stuff. But he always put a new twist on it. It was always like he was paying tribute to him, but he's putting his own twist on it and updating it for the modern times. And as we know, westerns have kind of died out as a genre. And if they want to reinvigorate themselves, they really should take some notes from Antoine Fuqua and he did with this because he added a lot to it. Now, the first half of this movie really brings you, the team together, the seven together. And if you don't know, the basic story is there's this town that's kind of being taken over by a corrupt miner, a corrupt, gold digger sort of guy. So this woman she goes out and she hires Denzel Washington's character, who's kind of a bounty hunter, but he kind of works for the law. He's a warrant hunter. Pays him to basically protect the town from these bad men. And knowing that he's way in over his head, he goes and riles up the most formidable, the most kind of disgusting guys out there that he can find to help protect this town, which is where he then gathers the other 6 characters. You've got Chris Pratt in there, you got Vincent D'Onofrio, you got Ethan Hawke, and I think the first half of this movie is really what feels like a true western. It's kind of that slow build up. There's not a lot of action. It's much more of a slow, methodical pace sort of movie at that point. And because I like westerns, I could really appreciate that, and I think you needed that to understand and really get a feel for who these characters were as people. And I think that's one of the things about this movie too, is I really liked all of the characters, and there were some surprising things in there, because going in you're thinking, okay, Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt are going to steal the show. But it really wasn't that case. It felt like much more of a collaborative effort between all of the 7 characters. And for one, Vincent D'Onofrio's character probably is going to give you the most laughs in this movie. He talks in this really weird, high-pitched voice that's very funny. I mean, he tackles like a man off of a horse. I think that's enough said. The guy's just a crazy guy. This movie allows itself to have some fun with the concept and with Western tropes, and that was so great about it. But the character that actually kind of got me the most was the Comanche kind of, I don't know if he's kind of like, he really wasn't part of a tribe anymore. He was kind of on his own, and he decides to go join this group of 6 at the time. I don't know, there's something about his character that was very fascinating. He was very loyal. Some of the traditions of being a Comanche really came through, and I really liked all of that. And I thought his character might have actually been the most interesting for really a guy that probably wasn't supposed to be. Now, the movie had a couple flaws. Like I said, it's a very slow build up in the beginning, and while you do get to know the characters some, you don't really get enough time spent with them. But at the same time, the movie actually kind of worked out in that way because it kind of made them real easy to understand why they would kind of join this tribe, or not this tribe, but they joined this group to help protect this town. But I thought the problem with that is while these guys are all supposed to be, the outlaws, the worst of the worst, almost none of them felt like that. They all felt like a little rebellious, like maybe they weren't squeaky clean, but none of them felt like bad guys, real outlaws or anything. So, and maybe that's not what the movie is going for, but it felt like that's what it was trying to paint the picture as, and it didn't really do that for me. So that was maybe the negative I had. And then especially once the second half of this movie and the action really ramps up, Antoine Fuqua directed this so well because he does so many fun and unique things with the big battle climactic action scene, and you really just get a lot of cool, new, interesting techniques of how a giant battle will go down in the Old West.
You ain't never seen a soldier like me. 1, 2, 3, I'm a vigilante. 4, 5, 6, kiss that ass goodbye. When I pull the gun, then somebody gotta die.
What's the plan?
I've always wanted to blow something up.
It's not a plan.
And I think the great thing about it too is where the action could have gotten really choppy, and we see a lot of action directors these days go with really quick cuts and shaky cams to get this. No, all the action in this movie is very clear, very easy to understand, very well shot, and that's what I really appreciated about it. And the last half of this movie is just so much fun. It's kind of over the top like you want it to be, but the movie gives you that it's going to be. The movie tells you from minute one that this movie's gonna have some fun with itself. It's not gonna be a real deep, grisly, realistic sort of thing. It just can be a fun, action-packed western, which is something we don't get a lot, and that's why I really like this movie, because I like westerns. We don't get a lot of them now these days. So The Magnificent Seven is a movie I really, really enjoyed. So I'm going to go relatively high with my score, and I'm going to give it an 85%. The movie is so much fun. Like I said, there's a few problems here and there with, not really painting the guys as outlaws like they were supposed to be. They're a little quick to join the group. But overall, like I said, it's just a lot of fun. Now, if you're not a fan of westerns, I think you can like this movie. You probably won't love it because there is still that western kind of slow built into it. There's some of the cliches, like I mentioned, but I appreciate the fact that they were there and the little twist they put on them. That's why I like The Magnificent Seven so much. And it surprised me. I was going in expecting just to like this movie and have some fun with it, but I had a lot more than just fun with it. I really got into the movie, surprisingly enough. So I really did like The Magnificent Seven. Well, there you guys have it. That's my review. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at NeatMovieNews for all the latest in the world of movies. And as we get into Oscar season, we're going to get a lot of great movie reviews coming. So stay tuned here for more, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you back here next time.